What's going on, people? Welcome back to Another Chairs TV, back again, and it's all about Newcastle United. This is so far short and neat, and I've got two guys who know the stuff, and a massive welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a long, Billy, hasn't it, my guy?
Yeah, over a year. Well over a year. I'm going to say 18 months since I was last in these pastures.
18 months.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 years ago, I was on here every week at some point, fans forums and what have you. Yeah, but it's great to be back. Great to see your new viewers and what have you, and good to be on with Tony as well. It's fantastic to be here.
Fantastic stuff, Billy. You're looking great shape as well, good dapper as well, and you're looking leaner, Amida. There you go, my guy. Yes, and Tony. Hi to Tony. I hope you're good.
Yeah, absolutely fine, John. Absolutely fine, mate. And yeah, I've been back on your channel for a few weeks now, and it's been great to be back. And it's normal service resumed, as they would say. And one thing I do want to say though is, well done, Alan Shearer. We know the Mackhams are having a meltdown over it, but you know what? All he's doing is he's telling the truth. What do you think of Roker Park? It's a fucking shithole. Absolutely. So's the whole of Sunderland.
Oh dear.
Fat. Absolute fat. When Shearer speaks, you better listen. And that's all I'm saying on that one. So, guys, if you like the video, like what you watch, make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're new. And if you like to super chat is open as well. We don't beg for money. If you think the money's worth it, you go for it. And you'd like to become a member, it's 99p. And also follow Billy and Tony as well. And that's my link to become a member. The link is on top of the chat. And you know exactly what to do, guys. Thanks very much indeed. Hi to Kel. Hi to Jan, by the way. Hi to JK. I hope you're well. Hi to Gary. I hope you're well. And everyone in the chat as well is viewing tonight. And welcome to me mod as well, Mama Flossie from Instagram. And she's always on me chat as well. Big up to Mama, by the way. And everyone says hi to everyone as well. Much is flying in, by the way. She's fantastic. Amy. Big up to Amy, by the way. Love her lots as well. Always do love her. And hi to Julie J. And hope you're well. Hi to Pete. Big up to you, Pete. And everyone else in the chat as well. Right, let's go on to the season so far. And we're going to start in August, the start of the season. We had a tough few games as well. We played Aston Villa at home. We beat them 5-1. And then we played Brighton, I believe. I think it was Man City after that. We lost that game, lost to Liverpool home, and lost to Brighton. The first 4 games, start with you, Billy. We only picked up 3 points the first 4 games. It was a tough start to the fixture to start the season, mate.
Yeah, the Premier League computer wasn't kind to us at the start. 3-4 really hard games, especially the Liverpool at home, Brighton away, and Man City away. You can't get any harder than that. We'd showed signs in pre-season that form was starting to come. We started a bit ropily at Gateshead, picked it up a little bit at Rangers, and went over to America. You know, he was using the whole squad. There was youngsters playing, the Murphys of this world. We're getting games. Jamie Marley, Ben Parkinson, and Elliot Anderson really came of his own on the tour. So it looked good. Went into the Villa game, and we were outstanding, absolutely superb. It was a fantastic team performance. Hammered them, given the right good hiding, and things were looking really, really rosy. From there, he went to Man City. People were saying this could be a title decider. It was even that early in the season. I mean, it was amazing, crazy talk, really. And we didn't show up. We really didn't show up. We went there, and we were too respectful. We were in our shells, and it was kind of a sign of things to come in the European games away from home. Actually, yeah, it was odd. And Man City won easily at a canter. One hand behind the back, holding us up. And then, of course, we had the Liverpool heartbreak where Mr. Howe made a mistake, taking off Tonali, who was running the game and allowing Liverpool into the game. Even with 10 men, Klopp saw a chance to kind of capitalise on that, and he did. And they won the game, which was heartbreaking. And then a week after that, I thought the players down tools at Brighton. I thought they were absolutely awful. And Brighton, Evan Ferguson, hat-trick from him, and they beat us 3-1. So wasn't a great start to the season, but it was a hard one.
I kind of agree with you, Billy, because it's always going to be tough. This is the Premier League. And, I mean, Liverpool's improved, City's improved, Brighton's improved, and we beat Villa. That was always going to be a tough game, but we've done it in the end. Tony, yeah, what can I say, man? I mean, we've got some good signings through the door. I mean, we've got in Harvey Barnes, and he's a good signing. I think it's a cracking signing. Also got as well Sandro Tonali as well, and we paid 52 million quid to AC Milan. And yes, I know he's been done for betting. I know he's been banned still. I mean, when you saw those signings come through the door, Harvey and Sandro, what do you think of it? Happy to signings at the time? Because I am.
Well, I was one of these that always, you know, I said if we could ever sign a midfielder, it would be Sandro Tonali. But I never thought we would ever get the chance of getting him, because I thought, well, there's no way Milan letting this kid go, you know. And when he signed, I was like, I can't believe this. We're actually getting him, you know. And I thought, this is a major signing, because now this signing, this is what we're doing, you know. This is who we're bringing in. We set down a marker, but I was very surprised how cheap we got him for, if I'm honest. I thought, oh, he'd cost a lot more than like £55 million. And then we brought Harvey Barnes in, which I thought, you know, obviously I spoke to Jack from Final Whistle, who's a big Leicester fan, he's a nice guy as well, you know, and he said, look, he gave me the lowdown on Harvey Barnes, how good he was, and he said, but, you know, he is prone to his injuries as well. You know, but I thought, okay, we'll see what comes of Harvey Barnes, and he looked good in pre-season. Then he unfortunately got injured at Sheffield United, which then, obviously Gordon was on the bench, but Gordon came off the bench, and, you know, the rest is history. Gordon went on and had a fantastic season, you know. Even though he was playing okay up until that point. But, yeah, once Harvey Barnes got that injury, Gordon stepped up. And he stepped up not just one gear, but a few gears. And look, you know, it's been difficult when Harvey Barnes got back from injury to get back in the team because of the form of Anthony Gordon, because you can't drop a player who's on form and who's been one of the best left wingers in the Premier League. And I'm talking about English left wingers as well. He's miles ahead of Rashford by a country mile. I know some people don't agree with me saying that, but I think Anthony Gordon is streets ahead of Rashford at this moment in time. But yeah, no, I thought they were great signings. You know, and I was like, yeah, where can we finish this season? Can we get top four again, or can we get a European place at least? You know, so yeah, the signs were good. You know, and you know, as Billy touched on there, yeah, when we played Liverpool, we were 1-0 up against 10-men Liverpool. We should have won that game by rights. Gordon hit the post in that game as well.
And Miggy as well.
But we should have won that game. And I think the turning point for Klopp was when we took off Gordon and Tonali, because we took the two best players off the pitch that day. And if you look at Klopp's face, he's actually smiling when we take them two off. And then he brings Darwin Núñez on, who then scores 2 goals against us, you know. And you just think, what's going on here? You know, we should be winning this game hands down. At least if we don't win it, don't lose it. But we do lose it. And quite rightly so, again, at Brighton, we just weren't at the races. We just didn't seem as if we wanted to get into a battle with Brighton. And, you know, we let them run right over us, especially Evan Ferguson. And it just didn't bode well. But, you know, so yeah, I was quite disappointed with August in a way, John.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we started off with that lovely 5-1 hammering of Villa, where Gordon set up Tonali for his goal, and you know, but you know, after we're hammering Villa 5-1, I thought, oh, okay, this is a great start to the season, because you know we drew with them in the States, you know, when Philogene was a handful, and yet he's gone out on loan, hasn't he? So, but yeah,
sold him. I think they sold him, Tom.
Oh, they sold him, didn't they? Yes, that's right. They sold him, didn't he? Went to Hull, didn't he? Yeah. I was surprised they got rid of him, because he was one of the bright lights in pre-season.
I agree. But at the end of the day, they got quality players and get someone to replace as well. But they move, I guess. But yeah, August hasn't been the best of starts in Newcastle. At least got a win against Villa. And to go for the Cons go September, do smash the likes, please, people. That'd be absolutely amazing. Thanks very much indeed. I think one more game to add more points. And then I agree, seeing being training, that's Callum Wilson. Personally, I wouldn't play him again until the end of the season. If not, I'm moving on. We've got to be hopeful for the English teams in Europe tonight. Yes, Kel, I totally agree. They got to win all the cups. Hope we get fifth. I'll be fine. Nobody knows yet, John. Yes, I mean about Tonali. He's going to get final banned again. So wait and see on that one, mate. Taking bets on, yep. Top of the season after week 1, if I recall. Yep. And he don't win the league after week 1, but it's nice though. And big up to Wayne, by the way. Hope you're great. And hi to Lorraine as well, and Philip as well, and dogs as well, or puppies as well. Big up to Lorraine. Hope you're well. Right, let's go into September. Right, I mean, looks very interesting. Right, I mean, we beat Brentford by the goal to nil. Then we went in the Champions League, and we played Milan, Sheffield United, Man City, and Newcastle. It's been that has been, and Newcastle will play PSG. It was a really good few games for us, Billy. I mean, Milan went to Milan and drew nils each at the San Siro, and it was always going to be tough, but we got a point, which is fantastic after 20 years. And then we played Sheffield United, absolutely walloped them by 8-0, beat Burnley, and we beat PSG 4-1. Our home, first home game in Champions League for 20 years. I mean, what a month, Billy.
Yeah, if Carlsberg did months, I think September would be the one, wouldn't it? It was a fantastic month for us, and it really did raise expectations for us. First game in Milan away was a real rearguard action, defensive kind of masterclass, if you like, but a real goalkeeping masterclass as Real Madrid take the lead at Man City. Looks like they won up, and it's Rodrigo who scored. Yeah, it was Nick Pope's finest hour. He was superb in Milan, wasn't he? He really was on the back foot for 90 minutes virtually, and could have stolen it at the end with Sean Longstaff. But I just felt we gave him a bit too much respect again. It was naivety, maybe not experienced enough for them games. But I thought that game really did do us well, actually, further on the line. The league form was great, as you say. Brentford at home, Sheffield United away, we were fantastic. Burnley at home again, we were pretty good too. But then the PSG one capped it all off. We were easily the best performance of the season. Absolutely outstanding against a top quality side, a side who are now in the semi-finals, as I said, tournament. Yeah, it was just brilliant that night. Every man pulled his weight, and we were brilliant. And you couldn't be any more happy at that point in time as a Newcastle United fan. It was a terrible mistake from Edison, by the way. So yeah, September, fantastic month.
Wow, absolutely brilliant. I mean, look, I thought he was going to step it up from last season as well after whopping Sheffield United 8-0 PSG. I was there to the game, Tony, at that game, and I tell you what, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. Absolutely the best atmosphere I've seen in 20 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, look, that game, I mean, I was kind of thinking, how's this game going to pan out, because we're playing PSG? But because I'd looked at our results, and just before they played us, they played Clermont, and Clermont, who was second bottom of League 1, PSG actually drew 0-0 with them, with Mbappe playing as well. And I thought, well, look, if they can't beat Clermont, then we've surely got a chance against these. And I actually said on the preview, I said, look, I'm going to go 2-1. Be brave. I'm going to say 2-1. Because my heart said 2-1, but my head said it would be a draw. And I thought, no, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for the win. And for us to actually got there and actually not just win by the odd goal, but to win comfortably 4-1, it was just absolutely fantastic. Because the last time Donnarumma was in England was when Italy won the Euros, and he was, obviously mouthing off, saying it's come home to Rome, it's coming to Rome and all this, taking the mickey out of the song. But look, Donnarumma that night did not cover himself in glory at all. I thought he was really, really poor. And I thought if he's supposed to be a great keeper, he's not great. He can be get at. And look, I mean, Share's icing on the cake with his goal was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
Longstaff and Byrne as well on the two Geordies on the score sheet as well. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
To go out there and actually just beat them like that 4-1, you just thought, right, okay, that's like the wow factor, If somebody had said to me, get a bet on we'll win 4-1 tonight, I would have just laughed at them and said, no chance, we're not winning 4-1. No way. But to win 4-1, it was just fantastic. Nothing we could do about their goal. It was just cleverly worked. And we just sort of switched off at the time being for that. But look, didn't matter because, like I say, we went on and won that game comfortably. Then you've got hope then, because then you're thinking, right, next up's Dortmund, and so you're thinking home game with Dortmund. I think they just drew with Milan, hadn't they? And they'd got beat off PSG away. So you're sort of thinking, well, that could be a home banker. So you're going into it full of optimism, and you're thinking, group of death. What group of death? We've got 4 points already. Fantastic start. AC Milan away. That was a hell of a game. It was one of those I was sitting there watching that, like on the edge of my seat, thinking, "Oh God, I hope we don't concede." Because I thought Giroud will be the threat, especially Liao as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought we contained them really well. And Sean Longstaff was unlucky towards the end for his shot to be tipped over by the sub keeper. But yeah, I was fairly happy with September, and it's right. If like Billy says, if we could have had a September every month, we would have been flying by now. But yeah, absolutely, But that was probably the result of the month. In fact, the PSG result, without a doubt.
I remember doing a watch along for the PSG game, and literally, I feared for my life. The heart was racing that hard when Cher scored that goal. Good grief, it was unbelievable. So what must have like for you, John, actually at the game to watch that fly into the top corner?
Oh man,
Lord, what was the noise like? I mean, obviously I couldn't hear the sound.
Billy, man, it was so deafening, man. Absolutely deafening. I mean, I sat next to a guy. I couldn't hear him. All I could hear is fans cheering inside my ear hole. Do you know what I mean? Because I was obviously flogging the match they flogged that day.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, right? I mean, Billy, for me to be at that stadium, right? The first game after 20-year Champions League against one of the best teams in the world, right? Where they could possibly win it this year, maybe. I don't know. But you know what? I think just go out there and see Mbappe, Dembele, and also Marquinhos and Hakimi, Donnarumma, all those world-class players to come at St. James's Park. But guess what? We sent them packing after the game. Sent them packing. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
Mbappe was absolutely poor. If I was to the player ratings, I would give him a 2 because he was that bad. He was nowhere, man.
Well, obviously on the TV, John, I mean, when Mbappe, like towards the end of the game, they showed you, and it was like, he just looked like he didn't want to be there, and he didn't look happy at all. And it was just absolutely fantastic to see the expression on his face, because he was giving it the big I am that, they were,
before that game,
how much he's always slated us. But Luis Enrique gave us credit before the game because he did say in his not the pre-match, but, the pre-match that they have like the day before the game. And he said, look, this isn't going to be easy. He says, we know what that team play like. He says, so we've got to be on our game. If we're not, they will turn us over. And I thought Marquinhos was trying to be too clever with that ball, whatever he was trying to do with it. And it cost them a goal. So, it's all right trying to showboat, but when it doesn't come off, you look stupid. And Marquinhos looked stupid that night.
Fact. Absolute fact. And I'll tell you what, we really looked daft anyway. I mean, even 36 played well, so Sean Longstaff. Sorry, Bill, I've got to say that. But just before going to the next one, how do you rate Sean Longstaff anyway, Billy? What do you think? Do you think he should be here next season quickly, or do you think he should be moving on to Leeds?
No. I'll keep him as a squad player every day of the week. He's a workhorse, and that's that part of the season. You saw him at his best. He was absolutely outstanding for those series of games. Obviously, the injury is too much for him, but I mean, Eddie Howe keeps playing him under injury. He trusts him. Obviously, his stats are good for Eddie Howe, even though with the ball at his feet, he's not great. But you saw him on Saturday. He was outstanding Saturday. He kept James Maddison really quiet. Did a really good defensive job keeping him quiet.
Yeah,
I'd definitely keep him as a squad player. He's not going to be started by any shadow of the imagination. You know, of all the midfielders, I guess he'd be at the bottom of the list. But when you need someone to do a defensive job or a workhorse job, then he's the man for the team, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, look, end of the day, I mean, like I said, if someone came for him, I wouldn't lose his sleep. But if he's going to be a squad player, cool. I'd take him as a squad player. But Toddy wants him sold for 15 mil to Leeds. So that's for another day, I guess. So let's go on to comments as well before we go on to October, November. Barca were injured by PSG last night. Imagine how we felt at their place. Pure and utter corruption. Wow. I saw the foul. I think it's a difficult one, really. Do you know what I mean? Pete, it was a class game, but shame we got robbed. Yep, we're going to talk about it in a bit. At least people can do it. And Madrid is 1-up already. That still hurts when we got robbed in Paris. Exactly, Pete. I was there. I was in Paris as well. And I was absolutely gutted. That still hurts when we robbed in Paris, indeed. Fast and disgracia. Absolutely disgracia. And City unlucky hit the bar.
Yeah, Man City at the bar. The ball bounced to Bernardo Silva. He's about a yard out and he managed to put it wide with no goalkeeper in front of him.
Dear. Well, what could I say, man? Even one of the world's best players could miss as well.
We need Man City to win, don't we? This coefficient stuff, so...
Yep. Facts, absolute facts. And hi to Clover from Brisbane. Not Brisbane, from Queensland. She's been on my channel a couple of times. She is fun and she's hoping to come back on my channel very, very soon. Please, Clover, get well soon. We do miss you. We should speed recovery. Supporting the stream from his sick bed. I couldn't believe they picked that PSG game. Mbappe should have rolled at the port because he knew it wasn't a bloody pen. We're going to talk about that later on, Clover. No doubt about it. And I think Billy's got a lot of things to say, and Tony's going to go on a rant as well. I'm sure he will. And let's go on to some more. Saying hi to Clover and Lewis Miley and Mbappe in his back pocket. And Longstaff should stay. And we've got this season has been very memorable. Highs, lows, everything in between. Don't get that very often at Newcastle. Dave, you're correct. You're so right. Oh, man, Longstaff, seriously? Oh, Lorraine doesn't like Longstaff at all whatsoever. I think the best song this season is You See United now, F off forms. Stand by United in the FA Cup game, lads. Do you know what? I was there at Old Trafford, the first time at Old Trafford, watching Newcastle. And I tell you what, I absolutely loved it. See me vlogs there. Absolutely amazing. Let's go on to October, November time. We played West Ham 2-2 each. Palace, we won 4-0. Dortmund, we lost 1-0. Wolves, 2 each. And United, 3-0. I'll start with you this time, Tony. The Dortmund game, everyone was gasping and saying, we're going to beat Dortmund, we're going to beat Dortmund. But what I'm going to say is, right, I have to keep it quiet, right? Borussia Dortmund are one of the elite teams in the Champions League. You cannot diss quality teams. It was not going to be easy.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, look, we thought Dortmund started off poor in the Champions League, and with it being a home game, you're sort of thinking, even if we get a draw with this game, that puts us on 5 points, and then we're in a strong position to get out of this group. But could we even nick it against Dortmund after beating Paris, And it was just one of those strange games, wasn't it, Yeah. And it was funny because they had a player playing for them that we were actually linked to, Nmecha, Felix Nmecha, the ex-Man City midfielder. And, it was his goal just before half-time that separated the two sides. But even at 1-0 down, you sort of thought, right, okay, we're not out of this game. It's half-time, yes, we're 1-0 down, but, we can turn this around the second half. The crowd got behind the team, and it was just Dortmund played well that night defensively as well. They set their stall, and they played to stop our attacking threat and to hit us on the counter as well. And before that game started, I was actually quite happy that Julian Brandt wasn't playing because he was out that night, injured, wasn't he? So he was out for that game. And when he wasn't announced in the team sheets, I thought, this could be a little bit of an advantage for us. The door could slightly be open here because there's no Julian Brandt tonight, who I rate very, very highly. I think he's a terrific player. But yeah, to lose 1-0 at home to them, I was disappointed because I thought we could have had an equaliser in that game. We had the chances, but we just couldn't convert them. That was the problem. And their keeper made some good saves that night. But yeah, so other than that, I was disappointed. But then I thought, okay, let's go to Dortmund and see what we can do over there, And it's just one of those games, wasn't it? We've had them before where we've lost 1-0 and we've tried to knock on the door and score. And we just can't get past either the keeper or we just have shots going off target. So, yeah, it was just one of those strange games. The Wolves 2-2 game, I mean, that was a strange one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With a controversial penalty we got, and then they got the equaliser. Then Neto went off injured that night for them as well, which he was a major threat to us. It was absolutely peeing down a rain. The last time we were at Wolves, when it was peeing down a rain, we lost 2-1 with Cavicini on the sidelines. And that was days before the takeover. But, yeah, that was just one of those strange games. But again, the way Wolves were playing that night, they played with a lot of threat. And, I think getting the point out of that game was a great point. On Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup with 6 fullbacks in the starting lineup. And that Man U team looked strong. And I remember doing the pre-match and I had people in the chat saying, I think this is going to be tough tonight. We're not going to beat these. Look at the team they've got out. They've got an honour in goal and full strength. Casemiro's playing. Fernandes is playing. And I'm like, I think we can still beat them. And we didn't just beat them. We took them to the cleaners because we beat them 3-0. We saw Willock return from injury and score that night.
Yeah.
I thought Kraft and Dummett at centre-back were immense that night. They were absolutely spot on that night. They were brilliant that night. Lewis Hall got a lovely goal as well against Man United. Miggy scoring as well, playing on the left, which I was happy about because I've wanted to see Miggy on the left because I think that's his natural position. But yeah, look, great to go down to Old Trafford and smash the Manx in their own backyard. But then what followed that game was nothing but from the media and all that. And I remember because I was off the next day from work and all that was coming out with Sky was all day was how bad are Man United? How bad is Ten Hag? What's happened here? What's happened to Man United? How are they playing so badly? How did they end up with this result last night? And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. What about the other team who was playing? What about Newcastle United who were playing with 6 full-backs in the lineup because they're depleted by injury, And they've gone down there and smashed a strong Man United team 3-0. But yet they couldn't come out with the credit for us. All they were interested was, like on that football show, Rob Dorset on that football show, all they could say was, well, Man United didn't play well. Man U's in crisis. And it's like, no, they're not in crisis. We made them look ordinary because we were better than them. We were more clinical than them. And, as I say, we played with 6 fullbacks. Well, we ended up with 5 because obviously Target went off injured early. But yeah, I thought that was a terrific result. Because we were looking at the Carabao Cup thinking, how hard can it get? We had City to start with and beat them. And then we had to go to Man United. And, you're thinking, is this the gods against us and the draws because we're not getting the easy draws here? But we went down there and took them apart and thought, what were we worrying about,
Fact. Absolute fact. This has got to be the worst Man U team I've ever seen in my life. This team hasn't got players like Robson in, Keane, Giggs, right? Andy Cole, none of them. Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie. I mean, Billy, this has got to be the worst United team I've seen in years. Do you agree with that?
It's the worst one since Ferguson of 1988-89 time, when he was again getting the sack in 1990. It's not been as bad as that since. No way. Poorly managed, and they were lucky last year to finish 3rd, and they've gone on playing the same way this year. except this year they haven't been quite as fortunate with results. They've been still the same fortunate with refereeing decisions that we saw Saturday. I mean, how they come away with the point Saturday was unbelievable at Bournemouth. A penalty similar to the one that was given up against us at PSG, deflection onto, the shoulder part of the arm, and the ref gives a penalty and VAR doesn't overturn it. I don't understand that at all. It's never a penalty in a Sundays.
No.
And then a penalty overturned, which you never see. You never see that penalty get overturned. Tripp was outside the box, but it carried on inside, and he was blocking him off as he fell in the box. It's a penalty all day long. And VAR overturned that as well. It's ridiculous how they get refereeing decisions week in, week out.
Yeah.
Poor side, Manchester United. There's no leadership in the side. They're very disjointed. They've got some really good players, but unfortunately, they don't play the team. Unless they play Liverpool, then they turn up. Then, if you was a Manchester United fan, you'd be really disappointed with how they've played this season, and especially how they play against Liverpool every time they play them, especially at home. Where's that performance the rest of the season? It's if I was a Manchester United fan, I'd be really disappointed with it. Really disappointed.
Yeah, really speaking facts. And let's go on to Amy. You guys have great memories. We do indeed, Amy. We're real fans in here. I mean, Tawny and Billy, they know exactly what they're talking about, and you do as well. Me too. Go Miggy. She's a big Miggy fan, Clover, by the way, so don't upset her about Miggy. Lorraine and chatting about talking about 36, and must admit, get some footy PTSD here. However, lads, respect for the real PTSD sufferers. This is just a joke, Aston Dave.
I think October was the month that we saw, the start of Eddie Howe not really being experienced enough with a lot of games. He didn't rotate the side enough. He had no excuse not to, because as Tony's alluded to, we went to Manchester United in the Carabao Cup, played a lot of these players and come away with a 3-0 win. He could have certainly rotated a few. And if you play 10 players week in, week out, Wednesday, Saturday, they're going to become fatigued. And I think this was the start of when it all started to go wrong for us, really. Even though the results weren't too bad, it bit us on the arse later on in the season, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely right. Longstaff's been a good servant, also Kel on injury. Leave the lad alone. That's from Kel. And as Madison's back pocket on Saturday, Lorraine. He played well, and I hope it continues. Yep. I hope to see Miggy stays. His work rate is amazing. We're going to talk about it later on. You missed Cantona, yep. Van der Sar, Cantona, yep. True legends, those two. Absolutely fantastic. Could you imagine what they're watching now? Oh, man. And guys chatting to Lorraine. Lorraine's not talking to club anymore. He has a good servant, but he needs to move forward and no room for sentiment because there's been there for years and he's a Geordie lad. Yep. Kelsey new favourite. Oh, bless. And Cantona that time a singer. He is indeed. Right, let's go into November. Ashley, November, no. Talk about PSG. We beat United by 1-0. We lost to Everton 3-0, Tony, and I tell you what, that's a shocker. Not just that, we lost to Tottenham 4-1. We lost to Milan at home, and we beat Fulham at home. It's not been a good December, by the way. And also, we lost to Chelsea, gone out, got beat off Luton, lost to Forest, and that's that.
Yeah, December was a funny month. I mean, there's so many games in that month as well. It was literally ridiculous, wasn't it? I mean, the game against Man United, that was a great result at home to beat them 1-0. Anthony Gordon, after a VAR check to make sure he was onside, which he was clearly onside. We played well against them and deservedly beat them, and it was great because that was our third defeat in a row against us, after losing 2-0 last season, then in the Carabao Cup, and then again. So we seem to start getting the knack of now beating Man United, which is a nice knack to get into. But after that, things didn't go right. I mean, Everton, we lost 3-0. 2 dreadful mistakes from Kieran Trippier. I mean, look, obviously there was something going on with Trippier. After the first mistake, I was actually screaming at the TV, "Get him off, Eddie! Get him off! Get him off! Get him off!" And you know, kept him on, and then he made another error, and it's like, if you took him off, he doesn't make that second error, and they don't get that second goal.
It was 3 actually. So he played better on side for the last as well, didn't he?
Oh yes, he did. Yes, that's right, Billy. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. It was just really, really poor from us that night, and to lose to Everton like that 3-0, it was absolutely shocking. You know. And then obviously after the Everton game, yes, we had the Tottenham game away. That was dreadful. Dubravka was dreadful that day. Again, Trippier mistake as well. You know, losing 4-1 away to Tottenham. We were just not at the races. We were awful that day. Not great. And then against Milan, we went 1-0 up through Joe Linton. Great goal from Joe Linton. Even if we didn't win that game, we were going into Europa League if we drew it. But we tried to go for the win. And look, they got us with that sucker punch, that second goal, and we just couldn't recover. You know, with any European game, if you're not going to win it, don't lose it. And I would have been happy if we'd stuck to a draw at least and got through that way into the Europa League. You know, I wasn't worried about going through the next round of the Champions League. If we'd beat Milan, we would have been in the next round of the Champions League. But we just could not get that win. And, you know, we ended up losing the game, which was disappointing because we ended up finishing bottom of the group and going out to Europe. And but then we made amends on the Saturday when we beat Fulham 3-0. That was when Jimenez got sent off for his karate kick. And I thought the referee, although he was only a young lad, I think, yeah, okay, he had to go to the screen to do for the sending off through VAR. But after that, I thought the referee was faultless, Sam Barrett. I thought he was brilliant. We've never seen him again for us this season, but I thought he was absolutely terrific. And yeah, we took Fulham apart. Then we had the Carabao Cup quarter-final, and we thought Chelsea, yeah, okay, they're not the greatest side. We can go there and win it. We were 1-0 up through Callum Wilson. We lost Anthony Gordon. Caicedo should have been red carded in the first few minutes when he put his foot down the back of Gordon's leg. He should have been off for that, to be honest with you. Gordon never recovered from that.
Okay.
And then I was screaming at Almiron to keep the ball in the corner. He failed to do that, Almiron. The ball goes up the other end. Mudryk gets in and scores. And then we go to penalties and we just totally demolished on penalties. And then we have a new law on the 23rd of December because we then go to Luton Town. Ross Barkley has the game of his life. And it has to be, who does it be to score the winner against us? Oh, yes, Andros Townsend, of all people, scores a header, makes it 1-0, and it doesn't look great. And you're thinking, how the hell have we got beat off one of the worst teams in the league in Luton Town at the time? And then we made matters worse, Boxing Day. You know, we play Forest at home. And again, clever management from Nuno Espirito Santo. He realises a threat of, like, he looks at Dan Burn and thinks, right, okay, he's a weak link. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put Hudson-Odoi on the left and I'm going to swap Elanga to the right. And I'm going to put Elanga up against Burn because Elanga's my quickest player. And Elanga destroyed Burn that day, absolutely destroyed him. And Chris Wood destroyed us with a hat-trick, which I couldn't believe him scoring his first ever hat-trick in the Premier League. And I thought, hang on, this was the Chris Wood we had at Newcastle that, you know, we were shouting about getting rid of. And he's come back and he scored. I mean, look, there were 3 well-taken goals by Chris Wood as well. But, yeah, not a great day that on Boxing Day. And it was a really, really bad December.
I agree, Tony. I agree. We made Chris Wood look like prime Luca Toni that day. Do you know what I mean? Let's be real, right? I mean, if you're going to get Champions League top 4, you need to win home games for likes of Forest, Luton. No disrespect to them, but you know what? At the end of the day, we need to, because we're better than them. But Otherwise, you're going to lose. Simple as that. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully, Joey, Sandro, Bruno mid, Isak, Gordon, Barnes up top. If we have to keep Miggy, then he's fresh legs on the bench. I think he'd be gone in the summer. Let's be real. Sorry, Clover and Connor. Calling it Billy. Hi to Connor. And did you see we signed somebody who would have been called the next win? Really, I didn't know that one, Gary, but we have to have a look. Kel's chatting to Lorraine. Momentum was well in Chelsea's sphere by the time Pevers coincide, so later devastating, thanks to Kieran Trippier. I would rather see Luton stay up than Everton. I think everyone wants to see that happening, guys. Trips is fit. Rumour is he's getting rested for exhaustion and mentally drained. Wife and kids, currently living with our mum since the house got burgled. So sad. I don't know anything about this, guys.
Well, he was definitely burgled. But
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Kieran Trippier's performances, you know, these times we're talking about now, he was really low mentally. Mistakes every game, Chelsea game, the Everton game, no rotation. We had Livramento sitting on the bench. At that time, he was playing left back, wasn't he? So he couldn't play with right back. What he could have done, he could have played with right back and brought Lewis Hall in at left back. He had options to do that. Because Dan Burn was out with his back, wasn't he? So he had options at left back, and he could have played Livramento at right back. It was the rotation that wasn't happening, and we played Luton on the Saturday, Spurs on the Sunday. Same side played in both, and they were awful in both. You know, Eddie Howe's managing in-game management wasn't great at this point either. I remember in the Dortmund away game, he swapped Trippier and Livramento from side to side, from right back to left back, about 4 times during the game. And against Everton, for a while he put Isak wide left and Gordon through the middle. You know, we had a few chances while it happened, and he swapped them back, and he was just panicking in game, and it wasn't great to watch. And there was no rotation. We were fatigued, definitely. I thought he could have, even if the kids weren't good enough, especially at PSG away, where Isak literally couldn't walk second half. To just put someone with legs on to keep the centre halves honest, because they were playing in our half constantly for the last half an hour. We needed some legs on the pitch. We didn't have any. And if he'd have put a youngster on, whoever it may have been, whether it be Ben Parker, just to keep the centre halves honest and make them play a bit deeper, then it would have helped us out. It never happened. And naivety from Eddie Howe, but he's definitely learning from it, because we've seen in the past few weeks he's back to his best again. He's learned a few things. He's got a plan B now. But at that time, things were looking as decidedly iffy for him. The Forest game at home, Luton away, they're never games you should be losing. No way on God's earth. The Luton game away came at the wrong time. It was the game after Tom Lockyer had his, what happened to him at Bournemouth. And so the fans and the club were all up for that when we weren't. As simple as that. They were up for it, Luton, and they wanted it more than us, which was one of the first times I've ever seen that under Eddie Howe. So, it was a horrible month, December, horrible month.
Oh, man. So it's just a month just to be forgotten, Billy, because I don't want to look at that again. But if we go to January, it's slightly a bit better. And, we played Sunderland. Well, Liverpool lost 4-2. We beat the Mackhams 3-0. We lost to Man City 3-2 in the Prem. We beat Fulham in the Cup. And we beat Newcastle away, which is, for me, that's the best performance of the season. And we played 4 each against Luton, Billy. I mean, look, out of those, I thought the performance against Villa was amazing. But the big one was against Sunderland.
Yeah, we played really well.
Smashed them.
Dominated them. By this time, of course, Nick Pope had done his shoulder in, and Martin Dubravka came into goal, a different type of goalkeeper. One that doesn't know when to come out and when to stay. And sometimes he does both at the same time, and he's cost us a few goals by doing that. The win at Sunday was great. We all celebrated that in true Geordie fashion. Great result, 3-0. Unfortunately, we lost Joe Linton that day though, with his glute injury, which was amazing because he did it in the first half and carried on playing, and then came out for the second half. We scored straight away, and then they took him off. What's that all about? Why? Why take him off then? Why not just keep him in at half time? It was obvious that something serious happened to him. And it wasn't just the first time that happened. We've seen it with Fen Botman. We've seen it with Dan Burn. He played on with a broken back for 2 or 3 minutes. And we've seen it recently with Lascelles trying to play on with an ACL injury. It's something not right with the medical staff, with the coaching staff, managerial staff, playing players that are injured. and trying to keep run off your ACL, lads, you'll be all right. It doesn't make any sense. The Villa away game was a superb tactical masterclass. Eddie Howe went there and destroyed them. The Liverpool away game flattered us 4-2, could have been 22 that day. But Martin Dubravka did come up trumps that day. He was superb.
He was.
Even though we lost 4-2. But dodgy penalties for Liverpool. What's new there? Yeah, it was a better month, January. But again, injuries, fatigue, slightly to get less now. We wouldn't have Fulham as well in the cup. But the injuries were starting to really, really bite. And yeah, we saw that in February, didn't we?
Yeah, and you know what it is, right? I mean, talk about injuries, Billy, right? I mean, listen, some medical staff's got to be questioned at the end of the season, surely.
You don't know, do you? I mean, you'd think so. I know one certainly went on paternity leave and hasn't been seen since. Been dismissed, but it's a communication between the medical team, the manager, and the player. The player really, although it's his body and he knows himself better than anyone, shouldn't be allowed to play on with an ACL. Botman did, trying to keep himself fit till after the Euros, then have an operation which would have put him out for the beginning of next season. Well, guess what? He's done it again, and he's out for the beginning of next season anyway. He's not going to be seen again until Christmas, so it hasn't worked for him. Yeah, the substitutions where players have been injured and not been done straight away, that to me is mental. The Jacob Murphy dislocating his shoulder and back 2 weeks later, another one that was mental. Yeah, lots of things have gone wrong this year with the medical staff and the management, because at the end of the day, the book stops with him. But yeah, hopefully we're learning from it.
Yeah, absolutely right, Billy. Totally agree. Go through the comments here before we go through the set of games. Longstaff's a great player. When he's fit, he puts his best into playing right in Jan. And all people do call him out, support him, not get on his back. We do, Gary. We do support the players. You know what I mean? When they play well, we praise them. When they don't perform, then we just say how it is. Do you know what I mean? We don't have a quarter. We just tell them how bad it was, in my opinion. It's ironic that Chris Wood cannot hit a bomb door for Newcastle. He gets a hat-trick against us. Gary, you're
the point with that was kind of with Dubravka in goal, and we were still playing the high line, hoping there was a sweeper keeper behind him. There wasn't one. Martin Dubravka just no idea about coming out. 100%. 100%. If Nick Pope's playing against Forest, they don't score any of them goals because he comes out and clears them.
That's the thing, because I don't think Dubravka or the defence don't trust Dubravka. That is the thing. And you have to have trust. There's one incident when Dan Burn had a back on Saturday to Dubravka, and Dubravka didn't commute. So Dan Burn out was to clear it over his heat, out for a throw-in. Yeah. If he messed it up, I wouldn't blame Dan for it. I blame Dubravka for it. He didn't come out. So the sooner they put comes back in, the better. Billy, you're 100% correct in your analyse with Trips and the gaffer. Lorraine speaks sense. I reckon Calvin P could do the same for us and Chris Wood has done it for Forest. I think under Howell, Phillips will be amazing. Clover, not a chance. Tony, no way. No.
He's playing really bad for West Ham, and I can't see him being going on the plate at the Euros this summer. But look, Calvin Phillips looked awful for West Ham. He looked absolutely shocking. As soon as he came on against us, he gave the goal away, didn't he? So, you know, and I work with a lad I've got at work who I've known for a long time anyway, and he's a big West Ham fan, and he said to me, and this is coming from a West Ham fan, he said, I don't often criticise signings. He says, and I know West Ham's made a few dud ones over the years, he says, but Calvin Phillips is the worst one he's ever seen.
Facts.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly, my guy. I tell you what, I mean, if Eddie does get Calvin Phillips on the cheap, right, this is going to be on him. And he has got to get us top four with Calvin and team. But we definitely dodged a bullet on this guy. I think he ended up going to Leeds, guys. I really do. But of course, he didn't pay attention to him when he played for Leeds. He was good for Leeds. Hardly got on the team for Man City. Went to West Ham. And he asked any West Ham fans, been shocking.
He's overweight as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
If Calvin Phillips goes to Leeds, there's no chance Sean Longstaff's going there.
That's the thing. Totally agree.
I can't see Leeds taking Calvin Phillips because he wants too much money.
That's the thing. He wants about 180k a week. Ain't happening. We go for the constant. We go into the next set of games. So Phillips very good at Leeds. He lost confidence at City. There's a good player in there. That's the Mama Flossie. there. Thank you very much for that. I take your point, but his strength is what he brings to the team. Remember when he was injured and the team was noticeable weak without him. Guarantee Phillips. Phillips, I said at the time, we already have some really decent ball boys not required. And then Billy, both players and manager should be excluded for any medical decisions. And this is why they employ medical professionals who supposedly know the trade.
Quite agree.
I quite agree as well. I quite agree as well. Everton, Ada Gordon. Yeah, they did. And what about Gibbs as well? I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, best of bad bunch. I think it'll fit in, but for me, I'll wait and see on that one. But let's go on to the next set of games as well. We talked about 4-4 Newcastle and Luton. We beat Forest by 3-2. Drew with Bournemouth for home. Destroyed by Arsenal. Only just done Blackburn on pens. And we beat Wolves by 3-0, Billy. I mean, for me, out of those lot, I think the one against Wolves is a great performance. I thought we were lucky against Bournemouth as well. I thought Bournemouth were fantastic. And Bruno G is a Bruno masterclass at the City Ground.
Yeah, Forest away and the Wolves game at home. I thought we were brilliant. You know, I thought Eddie Howe outcoached Gary O'Neill in the Wolves game. He counter-attacked and he played as the away team and hit them on the break, didn't he? It was a tactical masterclass. But the other games, the Bournemouth game, we were really lucky. Dubravka was absolutely awful that game. Really, really poor.
Mm-hmm.
Conceding 4 goals at home to Bournemouth and Luton, it ain't great, is it? There's something wrong there. Things had to be rectified, no doubt about it. Dan Burn at left back wasn't working. He was getting skinned week in, week out. The Arsenal game, that was another Liverpool game, could have been 20. We were absolutely dire at Arsenal, absolutely dire. And to be fair to Dubravka, if it hadn't been for him, it probably would have been 20. He had one of those games, didn't he, Dubravka at Arsenal, where he did really. Oh no, Carriers played, didn't he? Carriers played at Arsenal. Carriers had a really good game.
Yeah,
I felt a bit sorry for Carriers actually, because Dubravka kind of cried off with illness, and Carriers came in and probably deserved to keep his place after that. But the game after, Dubravka was back in. Blackburn, we were poor there. Dubravka saved us that game, no doubt about it. But you'd rather play Blackburn away than Arsenal away, that's for certain.
Sorry, guys.
That's a great ringtone, mate.
It is, isn't it? Don't worry. I think it's a troll, and he needs to stop this now. Otherwise, I got his number, and it's going to the police first if he carries on doing it. If he wants to play games like that, cool. Just don't do it. Yeah,
towards the end of the month with Wolves, there were signs that Eddie Howe was getting his act together with his plan Bs and things, but the damage had already been done. The injuries were really biting into us by this time. Defensively, we looked really shaky. The Pope injury was probably the biggest one of the season for us, and it was costing us points every week. Certainly against Luton, certainly against Bournemouth. He was poor against Luton. Dan Burn was poor against Luton also. Got took to the cleaners, didn't he? So, yeah, another poor month, really, results-wise. We should have been taking 6 points off Luton and Bournemouth. I have no doubt about it. And we didn't. Yeah, it was quite a poor month, apart from the Wolves game.
Yeah, totally agree, man. But you know what? I mean, I think Forest away was a good result, by the way. I mean, I quite like that one as well. Bruno masterclass as well. And you're right with that Carriers as well. I like Carriers, but you needed a run of games as well. But he'd be off to Italy in the summer.
Yep.
So I believe so. That'd be good for him, by the way, because of his girlfriend. Gordon had to leave Everton. Right. Gordon had to leave Everton as was uttered hostile there at the club. And Gordon's one of the best signings. I agree. And Gary being made from better. So on Eddie, look at Gordon, Big Joe. Yep, Wayne, you're correct. And that might be a gamble. Whoever we do bring depends on new FFP rules and what those rules are. And some of the War fans calling Gordon when we signed him was shocking and enjoying that eating humble pie. Exactly, Ronald. Exactly. Right, let's go on to the next set. I mean, we haven't got that many to go. We lost to Chelsea away, lost to City at home in the cup, beat West Ham. We're definitely going to talk about that game as well. We drew in Newcastle. Thanks, Mr. Dummett. We're not in WWE. And we beat Fulham. We beat Spurs as well. Tony, that game against West Ham was absolutely fantastic.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, we were 3-1 down, weren't we? You know? Again, it just showed, you know, I mean, look, after we went ahead.
Put on mute, John. Put on mute.
Yeah, after we went ahead through Isak's penalty, then obviously Jamal Lascelles went down with the injury, came back on, then couldn't carry on. Then we later find out that's an ACL, and he's out the same time as Botman. So then we had Bro Kraft on, and it was like a makeshift back four because Kraft was shoved into centre back at the time, wasn't he? And nobody knew what their jobs were then. And then obviously we were caught out on the high line with Antonio because ball from Paqueta over the top, Antonio onto it. And Antonio wasn't missing, let's be honest, And he's still shown good pace, even though he's 34 years of age. But Dubravka, I thought, could have probably prevented that goal as well, if I'm honest. And maybe people may think I'm being picky here, but I used to be a goalkeeper. And I know if you come out and narrow that angle, you're giving that player less and less chance of scoring. And if Dubravka was a little bit quicker out of his box or coming out, maybe Antonio slashes that wide. Now, if that was Nick Pope in goal, Antonio probably doesn't get anywhere near that. Probably Pope's out before it and gets and clears it. Or even Karius, because we've seen Karius do that at Arsenal when there was ball came over the top and he ran out and got it and put it in Rose head. So Dubravka for me is too indecisive, if I'm honest, as a goalkeeper. But yeah, so when it was 1-1 and you're thinking, and then it went 2-1, Cher was down. He took a little knock to the face from Kudus, but he fouled Kudus in the process. Look, there's a little hum and haw. Should the referee have stopped it? Should the referee have done anything? At the end of the day, it's the referee's discretion what he wants to do. He didn't see it as a head injury, because it's not a clash of heads. If it's a clash of heads, then they've got to stop the game. But that's the way the referees looked at it. Because I did look I looked at the referee and law on that, and it does say it's at the ref's discretion. So the discretion of the referee he was happy for Paqueta or Paqueta, whatever you want to call him, to take the quick free kick. That went into Kudus, and again, he put that past Dubravka, made it 2-1. And then a couple of minutes after the break, Jared Bourne's free, gets through and makes it 3-1. And you're thinking at that stage, this is it now. We're not getting anywhere near Europe because West Ham's going to take us apart. But the turning point came when he took Antonio off for Phillips. And that changed the game in our favour. And obviously Harvey Barnes came on as well. And I thought Phillips was shaky in that game. Harvey Barnes scored 2 brilliant goals. And then, of course, we saw Anthony Gordon get his second yellow card and get sent off. Now, a lot of people are saying, did he do that deliberate? I think he did. Because what he done was being clever. Because when he got the first yellow card, that put him up to 9 yellow cards. And he's probably thinking, right, okay. So if I get another yellow card, I get sent off. That goes back to 8 yellow cards and I'll miss the threshold. And so what happened was, with him missing the Everton game, enabled him to never get a 2-match ban this season. So it was probably the way Anthony Gordon done it, clever, being clever. But, we sort of got out of jail with that game, as I say, but I think that was down to the fact that Antonio went off. I think that was the turning point in their game, because they were comfortable till he was taken off. Then we play Everton on the Tuesday, and look, we should have beat them, honestly, and as much as I hate to say it about T-Rex, Pickford, but, he kept them in that game. If it wasn't for him, we would have been out of sight. Let's be honest. But we should have been more clinical in front of goal. We should have been more clinical.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Then when Dummett came on, that ball came up, that free kick, I think it was a free kick at the time, or a cross. Anyway, it came over. Dubravka had full control of it. He got a hold of it. At the time, I hadn't thought anything of it, I didn't think of any foul or anything because I wasn't, because the game was going so quick. we were down the other end, and I think it was offside, and then the referee was then on his getting it in his ear from VAR, and then he went over from Michael Salisbury to go and check the monitor. And when you saw the replay,
VAR weren't even checking it, so VAR weren't even checking it until Ashley Young chased the referee and made him aware of it.
Ashley Young was shouting when he.
The thing is, another Dembele moment ran straight to the referee, shouting his fist. Do you know what I mean? But obviously that was going to come into play in the summer. Anyone who does that, runs in front of the referee, shouting his fist, will probably get a yellow card for it. Let the referee decide. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when the ref went to the monitor, you thought he's given this, and when you saw it, you thought, yeah, it is a penalty all day, because what Paul Dummett did, it was stupid. And Paul Dummett, as a professional, should be thinking to himself, don't touch any player in the box, because as soon as you pull somebody down, VAR's there, they're going to have you. And he obviously didn't take no... yeah, exactly. He was a pensioner. But the thing is, Dubravka had that ball anyway. Even if he doesn't touch Ashley Young, Dubravka's got that ball and it's safe. So we give away a needless penalty. And then, obviously TNT Sports bigging up Dominic Calvert-Lewin when he hasn't scored for X amount of games now, 12 games or whatever it was. He's failed to hit the back of the net. And I thought, please don't be saying this, because you know what's going to happen. He's going to put this in the back of the net. I was hoping he was going to balloon it over the crossbar, but he didn't. He put a powerful penalty in and he took it well. And I was disappointed because that was a team we should have hammered, Everton. They've just been hammered 6-0 the other night by Chelsea, and they're a poor side, Everton. They really are. And we should have took Everton apart, in all honesty, John. Very, very poor that we could only get a draw from them. But going down to Craven Cottage and beating them 1-0, Fulham, that was a good result, considering Fulham were all over us at the start and they had chances to score. They could have been 2 or 3 up and nobody would have said anything because we were that poor. We were absolutely poor. Muniz, I don't know what he was doing, but he had more time than I think he thought he had, because if he just took his time, he could have placed that in the back of the net past Dubravka with ease, but he sort of snatched at it. And when we had that water break, I think it was Dubravka went down with an injury, and then it was like the thing for Ramadan as well. Eddie Howe tore into the team, and I've never seen Eddie Howe do that. Now, when I saw Eddie Howe doing that, I thought, hang on a minute. He's doing this for a reason, because 1, is Eddie Howe under pressure? And 2, is he just saying to the owners, look, I'm in charge here and I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. And after that rant from Eddie Howe, we just we were a different team altogether. We weren't this crap team no more. We started playing well. Yes, we did score 1, but it got ruled out by VAR because Dan Byrne fouled Shirley Bassey in the area.
Shirley Bassey.
Because with his surname being Bassey, I just call him Shirley Bassey because he went down like Shirley Bassey. But yeah, I mean, look, we got the win. Bruno scored the goal. Fantastic. And then obviously last weekend we played Spurs. I was thinking this is going to be a hard game. And I actually said 2-1 win, but I didn't think we'd get the result we did. But to go and hammer them 4-0 and make Mickey van de Ven look an average defender after TNT Sports yet again, and Rio Ferdinand know him. Oh, he's a great young centre-back. He's fast. Isak's going to have his work cut out up against him, and he's, and how much they picked him up. And he just folded like a deck of cards. He was absolutely awful. I think once he got that yellow card, I think that changed the game because he lost his head after that and his confidence was shot. Isak ripped him apart. Gordon ripped him apart. Pedro Porro was poor for Spurs as well. Maddison should have been booked for that challenge on Gordon. How he didn't get a yellow card. And then when Byrne fouled Maddison then shouted at the referee to demand Burn gets a yellow card. And I thought, how dare you ask for a yellow card for Burn when you should have been booked just beforehand? And I couldn't believe he had the audacity, and he was still shouting at the referee to get the yellow card out. I mean, he shouldn't even been playing this game because he should have been suspended from the week before for his punch on Yates. But, got away with it. But nice to get that 4-0 win against Tottenham. And, we look forward to Palace next week.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a tough game, Sellers. But it's a game we can win if you defend properly, like I have been doing for the last few games. So I can't go to the game because it's a midweek game. So I can't make it. So Shirley Bassey, I like it. And
you like that one?
I love it. Absolutely love it, man. But the guys, though, Bassey's not Welsh. Amazing. Six get past Pickford, the other elite. Absolutely. And football's funny your game. And Mason, like Shirley Bassey, PD, one of Cardiff's finest. Fat. Yeah, I think we've gone through all the season so far. I've got to ask a question, Billy. Can Newcastle, with the games got left, get in Europe this season?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, the way we're playing at the minute. I think 7th's going to be conference, though, the way things are going at the moment. Yeah, I think we can. I think we'll finish 7th at the lowest. I think we could finish higher than that. I think 6th, where we are now, is probably where we're going to finish. But I haven't ruled out 5th yet. Spurs have got a really tough run in. Although they have got Burnley and Sheffield United, which if they win those games, they get to a point where we can't catch them. But who knows? We know what Spurs are like. They do bottle things at times, don't they? But I just want to point out that the Chelsea game away, 81 minutes was when he took Bruno off when we were 3-1 down. Was the moment where I actually called for Eddie Howe's head. I wanted him out. He was surrendering the game as far as I could see. Just surrendering the game. Didn't see the point in it. I thought we could have got back into it because Chelsea weren't great that night either. When he took Bruno off, I thought he was waving the white flag, which is something a Newcastle manager should never do. And I was quite adamant I wanted him out for 2 or 3 weeks, but I've seen signs of improvement lately with his managerial ways he's been doing. So that's been put on the back burner. I'm back on the fence now, and hopefully he can prove me wrong, which he is doing at the moment. And take us into a European place with all the injuries we've had this season, and the trials and tribulations of the Tonali stuff would be an amazing feat. Really, it'd be something no one else could have done. So all good things to Eddie Howe. Let's hope he can continue in this manner and take us to Europe next season.
Yeah, I still want him to steer, no doubt about it, because he'll be here next season. I'm convinced of that as well. That guy's a good defender. We talk about Van der Ven, Tony. May have had a bad game against us, but he's been one of the best signings.
It's the manager. The manager's got one way of playing. He plays with a high line, and if you're playing against pace, you're in trouble. And he did it against Chelsea when he had 9 men on the pitch. I think Postecoglou is a massive fraud. I think he's a one-trick pony. I do, honestly.
Yeah. Facts.
You put pace against him up front. We saw they talk about Mickey can't defend. Sorry, Van der Ven as the fastest player in the league. Well, Anthony Gordon ran past him with ease on Saturday.
He did.
Just literally jogged past him and can't defend at full pace. So I don't know where they're getting this from, but there you go. I think Anthony Gordon's a far quicker player than Mickey.
I totally agree. You said about Postecoglou, one-trick pony. Yeah, I mean the thing's right. You can do it for Celtic. You can do it in Japan. You could do it in Australia, right? But it's the Premier League, and if you get found out in the Premier League, you're really going to get found out very, very quickly, very quickly. And Jim Ratcliffe one still kills me, Tony. Yeah, I can remember that as well. I'm convinced we'll catch Tottenham. Are we really going to catch Tottenham, Tony?
Do you know what, John? Hey, anything's possible. I mean, Tottenham haven't got a great run in, to be honest, John. But the fixtures we've got left, there's certainly a belief there. We could. Do you know what, John? Let's put it out there now, right? I mean, I'll run through Tottenham's fixtures. You've got Arsenal. They've also got to play Liverpool away, Man City at home, Chelsea away, Burnley at home, and Sheffield United away. They're not easy games. I mean, okay, Burnley and Sheffield United are expected to get 6 points. But the North London derby's not going to be easy. Liverpool away
Possibly.
won't be easy because both teams have wanted the title. Man City want the title, so there's 3 title rivals they're playing against. Chelsea, they can be hit and miss, so it depends what Chelsea turns up.
Yeah.
Not easy games there for Tottenham. But when you look at our games, we got Palace next, then Sheffield United. Then in May, we've got Burnley away, Brighton at home, Man U away, Brentford away. Do you know what? Those games are all winnable games, every one of them. That's 6 games. And if we get 18 points, let's see, that would put us on 68 points. And see where 68 points finishes us at the end of the season. Because we could finish above Spurs because 3 of them games they've got there, they could lose all 3 of them. And, so, yeah, we could definitely we could finish in 5th, sneak in 5th place. Who knows?
We play twice before they play again, don't we? So if we can win them 2 games, we're only 4 behind them. Then the pressure's really on them. Then, but they do have to play Burnley and Sheffield United, don't they? I think so. If they win them 2 games, they're sorting, won't they?
Do you think they're all? Do you think what we've got though, Billy? Because I think all them games we've got are winnable, all of them, even Man U away.
I think the hardest game is Brentford away. I really do.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
Totally it's just been a stoppage here on the Bayern Munich game with Arsenal because still 0-0 at the moment. Stoppage was for Tomiyasu of Arsenal so he could put his contact lenses back in.
Good Lord.
Oh, my days. Not good.
They got the little vanity mirror out for him.
He's got little nano contact lenses or has he got...
I don't know, but they had... those women's makeup mirrors, I got one of them out for him so he could look.
Agree, man. But I do know you will contact lenses on the pitch, man. But very interesting. But that ain't good. Our goal distance is good as well, guys. 100%. Palace have their tails up. We can beat them. I agree. We can definitely beat United again. I agree with you, Pete. And Billy with a smile. He likes
I think Palace away is it's one of them games that suits us. I mean, physical up front with whoever they play there, whether it be Edouard or Matete. I think Dan Burn will thrive on that. I think a counter-attacking masterclass is coming now as well. I do want to sleep.
Yeah, I'll commonly agree in that game. We'll beat Sheffield United as well. We've got to beat Sheffield United. We must do. Then we've got Burnley away. We must get them as well. I think, I'll go with Tony. I think we could actually get them the 6 wins. We're quite capable of doing it. We've got players could be coming back. Wilson could be coming back. And I know Jordan's going to be out anyway. But Brentford could be on the beach by the time we play them. We have nothing to play for. That's very true. That's very true. But then again, Brentford want to put on sure. So they won't be here next season. But
last home game, Ivan Toney's probably last game for him as well. It's all those things come into play as well, don't they?
Yeah, he'll score. But I just hope we smash them. Absolutely smash them. And big up to the first-time viewer. And do follow on social media. It's Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. I hope you're well. And she's very active on Twitter. So big up to Kelsey. You're on Kelsey, by the way. And very, very respectful as well. So show some love to Kelsey. Right. We've got to go another 5 more minutes before we close the show. I mean, just a quick one, Billy. I'm going to give you Lloyd Kelly. Are we going to get Lloyd? Would you take Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth?
Well, yeah, he's a free. He's a freebie. So,
Right.
We're lacking a left-sided centre-back. We need cover there because the Botman's out till Christmas. He can play a left-back as well. He's a no-brainer for me. Yeah, 100%. Although his injury record ain't great, but he's coming to the right place if his injury record ain't great, let's be honest.
Yep, absolutely right. And Tony, I'll give you Tosin from Fulham. He's another free buy. You definitely told you love to have him from Fulham to Newcastle.
To be honest, John, I think Tosin's a pretty decent centre half. From what I've seen of him playing for Fulham, and when he's played against us, he's always looked decent. So yeah, I mean, look, on a free transfer, why not? It helps your FFP at the end of the day. And again, he's a right-footed centre back, so it's good to have that cover there as well. We know his strengths and his ground duels and his aerial duels. And so, he's a big lad. He's 26. Yeah, absolutely. I would take him at the drop of a hat on a free because then that helps you out a bit because then we can spend money in other areas where we need to spend more. there's players there that we can get rid of, and we don't have to sell Bruno or Isak. You know, we can sell Longstaff on, we can sell Miggy on, sell Callum Wilson on. If I was Eddie Howe, I wouldn't play Wilson again this season. I would just keep him on the bench, or maybe just bring him on for a few little cameos. Because look, last thing we need is Wilson getting another injury, especially when to sell him on in the summer. We're heavily linked to Benjamin Sesko, who's a youngster. So if we can sell Wilson, bring Sesko in, if you get 15 million for Wilson, you take it all day long. But the likes of Longstaff, no disrespect to Longstaff, but look, maybe he does need to move on. If Leeds do get promoted, they want him for 15 million quid. I'd say, yeah, absolutely, let him go. Target's another one we need to get off the wage bill. I mean, 100 grand a week he's on, and we don't know how long he's injured for because he was seen in the training ground with a boot on. So look, we don't know how long he's out for now. He's obviously had another injury. Dummett needs to go in the summer. Richie needs to go, unfortunately. These players need to come off the wage bill now. And yeah, we need to sort it out. But I do believe, and I've said this for a long while, what annoys me is the media keeps saying, oh, well, we can't spend this, we can't spend that. How the hell do they know how much money we've got? Nobody, not even a club in League Two, gives you that budget. They do not sit there and say, we've got X amount to spend. Can you imagine Wrexham saying if they get promoted to League One, saying, oh, by the way, our transfer budget for this summer is £28 million. As soon as Wrexham go knocking on clubs' doors, they're going to say, oh, Wrexham, let's put a Wrexham tax on. Like they do with us, let's put a Newcastle tax on. So nobody in their right mind gives a budget away of how much they've got to spend. And we've probably got more money to spend than people think we have. And as I said, as much as it is a good outlet on Newcastle World with Liam Kennedy and Jordan Cronin, I just thought the other day they were a bit negative when they came out and said, look, it's great Newcastle's got Joe Linton on a long-term contract, but that now puts a huge spanner in the works for the summer plans because they won't have as much money. And I'm like, this is why fans are getting so upset because, 1 minute you see they're on a high because of Joe Linton signing, but then you're going to put us on a downer because you're saying because of PSR. And I'm sick of this bloody PSR business. They want to do two things with it. Either make it on inflation rated because inflation's changed a hell of a lot, or scrap the thing altogether.
I agree, Tony. Scrap it. Because at the end of the day, right? I mean, what will happen is, in my opinion, I think the players will end up leaving the Premier League because not getting that much money because of this FFP. I don't know if Billy agrees with us. I mean, if they don't sign the FFP to PSR, then what happened is, I think you're going to see top players going to leave the Premier League.
100%. And this is why it should be now. All these players that are running to the Saudi League, it's not just the older players, it's some of the young ones as well in Europe. I think Europe will do it as well. I think it'll go across the UEFA countries too, because the likes of Brozovic and people like that going to play in Saudi Arabia. It's not good for the brand, is it? They want the Champions League to be the biggest competition in the world. And if they've not got the best players in the world playing in it, the Ronaldos and Messis, even at their age now, they're all at different places. Something's going to have to be done to kind of Neymar's another one to kind of compensate. So they're going to have a rethink of FFP and PSR, no doubt about that. But unfortunately, in this country, we've got too many clubs that bow and kowtow to the top six, the big six, as they're known as, the cartel clubs. And I take Man City out of that because they're not interested in it either. Mainly because they didn't vote for it in the first place. Newcastle United actually voted for it. But of course, in them days, it was Mike Ashley, and he used FFP as an excuse not to spend anything. So, it suited Mike Ashley to have FFP because he's got that excuse. Or we can't spend too much because of FFP. We don't want to dock points because we really need to finish 17th in the table, which was all his ambitions were. If you're an ambitious club, you want to invest, and you've got the money to invest, why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? It's a ridiculous rule. It's restriction of trade, in my opinion. It should be against all laws, really. But yeah, that's how it is. I personally think if we're going to sell anyone in the summer, I'd sell Joe Willock personally.
Yeah, fair enough. I think
you get more money for him. You get more money for him. He's not playing. The emergence of Elliot Anderson as a potential superstar. Kind of, you got Joe Linton and Elliot Anderson to play in that left-sided 8 role. Where does Joe Willock fit in? I love Joe Willock. I think he's a fantastic player, but you need to keep him on the pitch. And his injury record, I mean, who's going to buy him? That's another thing. Yeah, but you probably get 30, 40 million for him, and that'll help the FFPA side out an awful lot. Then you've got Richie Fraser, who's doing well at Southampton. I know he's injured, buying a 2 up against Arsenal, by the way. That's another bad result for the 1 up for the coefficient. So, yeah, Fraser's going to Southampton would be great for us, keep money off the wage bill. Miggy will probably leave. Wilson will probably leave. So I don't see us selling Isak or Bruno. Absolutely not. And, of course, Bruno's got that release clause, but he doesn't have to go. Unless Real Madrid come in for him, I can't see him leaving. Personally.
Absolutely right. I don't think Madrid are coming for him this season. I think Toni Kroos is signing a 1-year deal. And Modric's got also done the same, I think. So we'll see what happens in the summer, but I'm confident we're going to keep Isak and Bruno as well. Kelsey, hi to Kelsey. What's everyone to tonight? Watching Arsenal game. I'll be watching that in a minute. We're just going to go for the comments.
Bayern Munich's 1-0 up now. Kimmich.
I tell you what, Lee Guller's going to be so happy at that tonight. He's going to be furious tonight. Matty Salmaguna. Wow.
Bad news for the English clubs, though. I mean, German clubs beating English clubs and Spanish clubs beating English clubs. You know, 5th place in the Champions League ain't happening. No way.
No chance. No chance.
West Ham's not going to beat Leverkusen tomorrow night either.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no chance. No chance. They get whipped tomorrow, by the way.
Liverpool going Atalanta. Yeah.
Yeah. And people are seeing the tweets, right, before I go through the comments, right? People saying that Serie A is crap. Serie A is dead. Serie A is not what it used to be, right? And they dismiss Atalanta. Let me just be clear, right? I love Serie A, right? Atalanta, right, are a fantastic team. Gasperini has done a fantastic job at Atalanta, yeah? 8 seasons he's been there for, right? They've got some good players there. Edison, right? Luan Musso in goal, right? Lookman, fantastic. Shamaka is having a fantastic season as well. You know what? At the end of the day, right? Well done to Atalanta. And I just don't think Liverpool's going to come back. Definitely the forward and a centre-back with all injuries back, and Tonali will be fine. You take care, Kels. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'll speak to you later. And we kind of get rid of Tarkus to signals on pound 100k wages.
That's the point, isn't it? Who's going to tell you who's going to pay him the wages? He ain't going to leave for less wages, is he? So
this is ridiculous. You're absolutely right.
100 grand a week is on.
Yeah, fact. And you know what? Who gave it off 100k a week? It's going to be hard to get him off. Who pays any attention to what the media say? That's from Gary to Tony. And big up to David, by the way. Hope you're great. Great stream as always. Thank you, Pete. And hi to Lexi. Thank you very much indeed. Fabio Shorter. So thank you, Lexi. Thank you very much indeed there. Great show, John. You take care as well, my guy, and have a fantastic time, bro. And FFP wants to scrap as well, lads. Fat. And I'm going to have to agree with Kelsey as well. Gets on me, you know what. But thank you anyway, Kelsey. And PS on needs to give it off. Fat. Don't say that. Gary, bless. I know you are, Gaz. I know you are. We love you, Gary. I think he's a fantastic contributor as well. He really is. Bayern scored 1-0 up. Us getting battered everywhere they go. And injuries affecting work for the last 12. Yeah. Score. Lorraine says so. Willock. Kimmich. Yeah. More. Arteta. That's a good one, isn't it? Arteta's. Arteta's. And all this fans saying, we got Super Mecca Teta, right? Who's singing that now? Arsenal would be. If I was an Arsenal fan, I want him sacked. Not good enough. Wow, you know your football, so yeah, Johnny. Kel, I love the league. I love the town football. But thank you for your support, by the way. I really appreciate that, man. And chat later, John. You take care. Love you lots, Kelsey. And not as good as used to be, John. So I used to be the top league. Alan disagree with what I'm saying. Cool. Packing the large chaps.eu packing down. Get what you mean. Thank you, man. Thank you, Lex. And KDB has been pooped tonight. And great show, guys. Thank you, Pete. And on that bombshell, we're going to wrap the show up. Thanks, Jupes, as well. Thanks so much indeed. It's been a fantastic show tonight. And it's been a great blast. So, yeah. So, did you enjoy coming on, guys, tonight?
Always a pleasure to come on this channel, John. You know, it's been a long time. Way too long, actually. I wasn't able to come on before, but, you know, things were different for 18 months or so. But finally, things are better again now, and we're all here to help you out again, John.
Thank you very much, Billy. I really appreciate that, man. You know what it is, right? I should have known that. But at the end of the day, look, I've seen sense. And you know what? I've got fantastic people like yourselves, Tony, Pete, Paul, Alex, Sam. Who else there as well? You got Toon Collector as well. Adam, he's fantastic. Clover as well. And people like the chat as well. Love the chat, Mama Flossie, and also everyone in the chat as well. And it's the first timer for Clover's one of them, and it's first time for Kelsey. So thank you. You take care. Get well soon. How are we, the lads? Great show. Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Jobs. So, Billy, where can we find you, my guy? And where can we find you on socials? And where can we find you? People find you.
Well, I'm at Billy Trey on Twitter, or X it's now called, and of course I'm a co-host on the Toon Review. Watch-alongs, we're really good at them. We're pulling 20k regularly each game for them. Paul and I do a great job on that. Even though I'm blowing our own trumpet there. But we're back on again tomorrow night with this show. I can't remember what it's about now, but yeah, it's a show tomorrow night, and we'll be TTR Friday, and Lord knows over the weekend because there's no football, which is crap. I hate it when there's no football, but next Wednesday will be the next watch along with Palace away.
Fantastic stuff. Get us on there, Bill. I'd love to come on as well, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll be fine on that as well. I think Paul would love to see us there. Yeah, so I'm sure Mama Flossie will give you the link as well. / the Toon Review as well. Do follow the channel as well. Follow at Billy Trey. And night to you, Alan. Good night to you, Juliet, as well. Hope you're well. And night to the chat as well. Thanks a lot, Lorraine. Night to you as well. And hit the likes before you leave, everyone. Thank you, Gary and Paul and Billy, to Toon Watch-alongs. Legendary. Totally agree. And Tony, where can you find you, man, on your socials? I know everyone knows, but for those who don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Just one thing I was going to say there. I've just been looking on SofaScore, and they've got down Joe Linton's contract ends the 30th of June 2028. So they've got him down as a 4-year deal. So
wow.
Because it wasn't announced what his deal was it? So, but
that's crazy.
So how they've got that, I don't know. But yeah, that's what they're saying anyway. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. Nobody knows.
That's the thing. They don't tell you how long.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Absolutely. But yeah, you can find me on there. It's all black and white TV. It's behind me there. You can find me down there on Tony31 on Twitter, X. I still call it Twitter. We don't know why Mr. Tesla decided to change the name. But yeah, that's where you can find me there. I'm on various socials, so on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram, it's all black and white TV as well. So that's where you can find me. All sorts. So there you go. Plenty of places to find me. I'm not hidden anywhere.
And thanks to Tony also for pushing our watch-alongs. He does it every show, but he does a pre-match show every week, every game. Does a great job on that, and he always pushes us. So thanks for that, Tony.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no problem,
stuff.
Billy. No worries, mate.
Brilliant stuff. Do check out the watch-alongs on Paul's channel, the Toon Fuse channel, Paul and Billy. And I tell you what, as well, that channel is lit, absolutely lit, and I guarantee you'll enjoy it. It's fun, it's banter, and you know what? He makes you laugh. Both guys makes you laugh as well. I still call it Twitter as well. It'll always be, I reckon. I totally agree, Julie, because people says X, I call it Twitter. So yeah, so you can find us on John Sinclair TV, and I've got 7,470 odd subs now, and on the road to 7,500. And if that's going to be enough, I don't know. But listen, at the end of the day, just keep working hard. That's all I can do. So, guys, like the video, like what you watch, and that one as well. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll do YouTube backstage quickly, guys. And as always, thanks for Mama Flossie. Thanks for the chat as well. And as always, how are we, lads?